Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second episode of Tips and Titty Bits. All right, so the first episode, I was given some tips about getting out there, putting yourself out there, meeting new friends. And this episode, I am going to give you some tips and titty bits about some of my favorite outdoor gear brands. So none of this is sponsored, but I do have some affiliate links, mostly just with Dovetail. I think is the only one I'll mention. As most of you all know, if you are a listener out there, or have been a listener for a while, that is, I am an ambassador for Dovetail, but I won't or wouldn't talk about anything on this podcast or really endorse it if I didn't truly use it and or feel very passionate about it. So just so you know, I disclaim that in all the posts that I include, their links and whatnot, but I wanted to give you the message up front here. I truly care about this brand and I'm passionate about it and all the others, but I think Dovetail is the only one with that link there. I just wanted to be transparent with you all because as this podcast grows, obviously I hope to get some brand partnerships, but that's been the biggest struggle really is I will only work with people or brands that I know, use, and trust. So that I wouldn't say limits the options. There's a lot of brands out there I know, use, and trust, but a lot of my first choices, they're small brands. There's not a big budget there for podcast marketing, which is still fairly new. But anyways, back to it all. The point of these short, quick little episodes are to give you either tips or little insight into things, some gear reviews, my favorite products, things like that, to help you gear up to get outside, adventure, work outside, whatever it is, or tips on things that I've gone through or going through, and my kind of just take on how I'm dealing with it, and maybe that will resonate with some of you. Obviously, none of it's like professional health advice or anything like that, but I'm excited to keep this going. I'll have some like workout tips for spring, biking, things like that. Today, let's talk about some of these brands. So, being a women-focused podcast, we only have women on the podcast. So everyone we have on is either a founder of a small brand or big brand or president or CEO or somehow represents one of these companies. And it's March, Women's History Month. So I wanted to highlight people, but then again, I'm like, well, we do this every day. So whether it's March or not, you're going to hear us talk about these brands with people from these brands. So it's kind of irrelevant that it's Women's History Month. I'm still excited that it is and want to like shout it out and hope that everyone else is shouting some awesome women out. But I also hope they're doing that any other time outside of March. So here we are doing it every day, every week, rather, whatever, now twice a week. So a few of the brands I'm going to mention today. Actually, we've had most of them on the podcast, but maybe you've heard of them because they've been on. Maybe you haven't. So I'm going to start with Nara, actually, just because I think that what they're doing really is innovative and something that not many others are doing, and they're continuing to grow what they're doing by licensing their technology instead of having to make each piece of apparel themselves. So if you don't know, if you haven't listened to the episode with one of the co-founders, Georgia Grace of Nara, Nara makes something called the GoFly technology. It is essentially a pea zipper in your pants. So it goes down where your normal zipper would end. There's another zipper that starts and it goes all the way back, like up kind of the seam of your bum there, and allows you to that zipper then opens up. So you unzip it, and when you squat down, your pants will open more, allowing you to squat and pee. If you haven't seen these pants, haven't listened to this episode, you might wonder, like, it could be hard to imagine. But like I said, as you squat, the opening widens and you can pee outside or, somewhere where you have to squat without taking your pants down fully. So this is helpful in like discreetness. Like you don't have to pull your pants down and get your butt exposed to the elements or to the people or whatnot. And Georgia came up with this idea while working in Alaska on glaciers, and there was just no privacy. And men can easily pee while keeping it discreet. Obviously, going number two for anybody would require taking your pants all the way off, but not with Nara now. You can use the bathroom again with some privacy, discreetness, and it's just an amazing, amazing thing in women's apparel for functionality. I'm not going to get too far into it because, like I said, we have a full episode onto it. I'll link it in the show notes so you can listen to it and find out more about Nara, their whole backstory. I will mention, though, they have partnered with Livesin, another apparel company, and they have put this GoFly technology into a pair of their overalls. Most recently, too, this is a very exciting collaboration for them. They have partnered with Burton to do it for ski and snowboard bibs. Now, some of you might wonder how this would work considering when we're skiing or snowboarding, a lot of times we're wearing base layers as well. So, and also when you're hiking, sometimes with their hiking pants, like you might be wearing a base layer or something. So, yeah, it's not going to work unless you have the compatible layering system, which is a thing. So, that's something to look into and remember, like, but they've thought of these things. So don't think like, okay, that's dumb. No, it definitely is not, but you do have to invest into that layering system to make it work properly the way it would with the bibs or anything that you're going to layer up. But again, the biggest thing what NAR is doing is just true innovation rather than just creating another piece of apparel that is a different style that has like maybe a trend focus and is functional. It is it's another function, like I said, that not everyone's diving into. There's drop seats and overalls and bibs, and those are awesome. But this is just, again, keeps you a lot more discreet than some drop seats. Drop seats will still show your bum. But, anyways, if you haven't checked them out, look up Nara. Again, it's all in the show notes. Listen to the podcast with Georgia Grace, True Innovation for Women in the Outdoors. They also have pockets that fit your full hand. That is my test for any piece of women's apparel, the pocket test. It's the knuckle test. How deep, how many knuckles can I get in the pocket? 1, 2, full hand. So they are full hand pocket. So truly functional for all sorts of things. And again, even if like you are layering, like I said, you don't have to be using just the pants for the P zipper. Like they're one of my favorite pairs of hiking pants, and I'm wearing them plenty of times when I'm not just like out on a hike where I'm worried that I might have to go to the bathroom. I'll wear them on a regular daily basis. Um, so to go with Nara, actually kind of on this trend of using the restroom in the outdoors, or just going to the bathroom in the outdoors, we have Kula Cloth. So we had Anastasia on the podcast as well. Again, for those of you who don't know, Kula Cloth is essentially a pee rag. Sorry, Anastasia, if that's not exactly how you'd like me to describe it, but just so you folks out there get a good idea of what it is. Again, if you haven't heard about it, looked into it, this might sound weird to you. It might not sound like this is actually something that changes the hygienic game. You could think that, ew, gross, what do you do? Why do you have a pee rag? Just pee and like whatever, drip dry or use a toilet paper. But if you're outside, like backpacking, hiking, climbing, anything like that, and you're using toilet paper, well, we should be following leave no trace principles, which means you're packing out that toilet paper, that paper towels, wet wipes, whatever it is. So you're putting that in a plastic bag or something like that to pack it out anyway. So, like, what's the problem with having a piece of cloth that has two sides to it? So you're only wiping on one side, and it was designed so that you fold it in half and it buttons closed. So that side that you're using to wipe with isn't exposed to the elements, and it's also not like rubbing on your backpack or gear or anything like that. It's designed to be able to hang off the back of your backpack, stay clipped. Like I said, that side that you use is protected, and we're not using it to wipe your bums. It's for like peeing and blotting dry. So it's an amazing piece of gear that since I got one, I haven't been out in the backcountry a lot, like using it, but I've definitely tested it out. And it can be something I feel like that you kind of have to get used to using. But I hate drip drying because then, your underwear might feel a little wet, although if you're sweating, like could be unnoticeable or anything like that, but it's just a different kind of wetness. And I just prefer to not have to drip dry. So this has been an awesome piece of gear that I've gotten to add to my arsenal of equipment of gear and the must-haves for especially those longer hikes where you're sure you'll probably have to go to the bathroom rather. So Anastasia is also located in the Pacific Northwest, which is something we connect on being from that area. But she also makes some other things too, like the Rapunzel gator that has a couple hole, like it's a net gator. She has a summer one and a winter one. Use it for UPF protection, wind protection, warmth, things like that. But there's a couple holes, 3/4 of the way down or something like that, where if you have long hair, you can put your braids through or ponytail through or something, so that your face can stay covered. Because if you have long hair, you know that if especially if you braid it, you pop your braid up over the side of your neck gaiter and then you lose some coverage on your face. So this is an awesome way to keep that full coverage, um, for wind protection, warmth, again, sun protection, and still have your hair kind of peek out. So yeah, plenty of us can keep our hair tucked in, but guess what? It's still okay to want to look cute and be functional. We're women. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of men out there who also want to look good while they're out doing things. And it's just also can be more comfortable to have that braid sticking out than being tucked in. Cause sometimes, it tickles you or whatever, just gets tangled. It's just nice to have it be able to peek out there. So Anastasia at Kula Cloth offers a few other products and apparel, and not just the Kula Cloth, but the Kula Cloth is the thing that I feel like changed the game, and that is where she started. So anyone who gets outside and is outside for a long period of time, except knowing you're going to have to use the bathroom, I think a Kula Cloth is a really great thing to invest in, especially on that sustainability side of things. That you're not having to pack out toilet paper, you're not worried about leaving toilet paper, and it can keep you nice and dry and clean, because again, there's a whole hygienic piece to just drip drying too, and having that like just wet gross underwear. Sorry for the if that seems graphic, but hey, we're supposed to be real and raw here too. Next I'm going to talk about Ewer, because we talk about Ewer a lot since we've had Mallory on the podcast. I've mentioned her in a lot of other podcasts because we've had other women who, just the circle of ladies in the outdoor industry. There's a lot of connections there, but Ewer is most of their stuff. I'm sorry, all of their stuff is made in the USA. Most of their stuff is made in Montana, some in California, but all of it is made in the USA. And I think that's incredibly awesome. There is more to this conversation that I'm not going to dive into right now because there's so many things I'm not well versed in, but I've been following some conversations on other platforms that talk about, some other brands are speaking up about why they don't manufacture in the USA. So there's a lot, like I said, more to the conversation in that, and to dive into and just to hear all sides of things, because we're not knocking people who don't manufacture in the US. Obviously, it's an incredibly hard thing to do, but I would like to give kudos to those that are. And the fact that Mallory does most of it in Montana out of their tiny little factory that she has created is really impressive to me. It's so much work. And as a small, tiny little team, like that takes a lot of grit and tenacity, as small business we know already does. So I wanted to give you a shout out for doing that, maintaining their mission to be as sustainable as possible and keeping their team like small and in-house. They make amazing outdoor apparel. I love the treasure dress, which is a fleece grid dress. I'm not much of a dress or skirt person, as you, again, if followed me along for a while, but I do love to dress up once in a while. And sure, a fleece dress I wouldn't say is like dressing up. It's kind of mountain town chic, if you will, but I want to be cute sometimes. And it's just a way that I can feel like a little girly, but also maintaining coverage and being warm too. So the Ewer dress is just a cute piece, and obviously you can wear leggings or something with it too, and it just gives you that long, like tee kind of effect, like t-shirt dress effect. But there's so many ways to wear it, and there's just again so many different pieces that Mallory offers. I also have a pair of her leggings that I have been testing out, like through CrossFit and things like that. They are so buttery soft. They've got a pocket and there's some cute, fun prints in them. They're called the Earned It legging, by the way. So she's got a couple solid prints and a couple of, or I guess rather a couple solid colors and a couple of prints. But and so many other things like the blazer. Don't even get me started on the superpower blazer. I do not own one, but I tried it on when I went to Montana and got to like see the Ewer factory, and it is on my list for sure. It is all I could think about when I had to dress up for our state wrestling championships, and I had a I think I talked about it with the in the episode. I guess that's coming out after this. But anyways, I had an ill-fitting Kohl's suit, and all I could think about was having a blazer from Mallory. And blazers are just like trending again. It's one of those things that doesn't have to be completely functional. You're not going hiking in a blazer, but it's made from a sustainable company and it's so stretchy, comfy. You can put your power suit on and know you've supported an awesome small business who practices sustainability and look freaking good, ready to take over the world. And I mean, like I said, blazers are on trend, like dressing up with her bodysuit. Another thing I want. So get on their website, check them out. Again, the whole point in highlighting some of these brands is for you all to go check these out and support women every day, every month, not just during March. Being that we talk to women, and I think most of our listeners are women, I'm sure you're all doing that anyways, any day of the week. But these few brands just are standing out to me right now as I continue to do these titty bits and or tips and titty bits Tuesdays. You'll definitely hear about more brands, and obviously you'll hear about them as we have full episodes with the founders or presidents, CEOs, things like that. But this is the quick highlight reel. Like, check these out. So, moving on to Dovetail. Again, if I sound like a broken record to you, well, to me, that's a good thing because that means you listen to me enough and follow me enough to have heard about Dovetail a million trillion times. Like I said, I am an ambassador for Dovetail, so the affiliate link does give me a small kickback, but that's, it's not much, and I would never, like I said, endorse it if I didn't truly love and believe in them. Dovetail has changed the game in women's workwear. They make durable, functional clothes. So whether and it's not just workwear. I wear Dovetail again, like on a daily basis. I wear them to work at the bar, at the restaurant. I wear them just around town. I wore them working on the sales floor. I wear a certain pair of the Krista DIY while coaching wrestling tournaments because they're so freaking stretchy and comfortable, but I'm not wearing a pair of leggings. And I can move and breathe in them. And again, the pocket test, whole hand in multiple pockets, side pockets for phones, tools, all the things. And so, though Dovetail rooted in creating workwear for women, they have expanded their line substantially where, like I said, it doesn't have to be just for the tradeswoman, the landscaper, the rugged environments. It is so versatile in all these things. And like I said, even just daily, because I'm so tired of not having pockets. Also, workwear is trending as well. So wearing cute cute workwear pants and overalls, like you can do it anywhere, any place. And like I said, I have pockets for everything. I love going places without a purse or a fanny pack or something. Like I can fit my phone, wallet in my pockets and I'm good to go. Like the freedom of being a man is what it feels like. That I don't have to have like something holding all my shit because it's on my person. Um, and so again, the importance here of Dovetail is that they set out to create workwear for women that fit because ill-fitting clothes are simply not very safe. If you've ever had to actually do some manual labor or working in men's clothes that don't fit a woman's body well, you know it can be cumbersome and things literally can happen that are not safe. Like the crotch hangs too low, so you're trying to take a big step and you're inhibited to take that step. So now we have stretchy material. The crotch is where it should be. You can lift your leg, take that big step, and you're not just going to fumble on your face. Trust me, working on a commercial fishing boat where I literally was jumping up on top of totes that would be freaking, I don't know, I'm not bad or I'm not good at distance and math, but each tote was like, I don't know, 3.5 feet high and they'd be stacked 3, 4, 5 high. And I'd be jumping across them on top of them, grabbing onto a crane, and I'd have to move quickly on this. So doing that again, this was like fishing wear. So, but I would have sometimes some overalls underneath. Like always having to pull up that bib to take that quick jump, like, that takes time out of you having to move quickly. So, and working on the boat just in my car, it's in the summer, same thing. Trying to move around and you're constantly adjusting. They're heavy, they're baggy. It's just uncomfortable. I can't attest to many of the uses, but so many women can. Jump on their website, read some reviews, and check them out. They also recently did a collaboration with No Snow Patches. So shout out to No Snow. No, so another women-owned brand where they have, if you haven't heard of No Snow, oh my god, I can't say it. No So Patches. They are patches to patch like your down jackets, puffy jackets, jackets in general, anything. Patch a hole without having to go get it fixed by a professional or buy a new garment because you just have a tiny little hole. Super easy. It's looks like a sticker. There's so many fun designs. You peel the back, stick it on, use some heat. It's adhesive. So it's now patched your item. And so they collaborated with Dovetail using dead stock Dovetail material. So the patches are made from the same material that their clothing's made from, meaning that it's going to be just as rugged and durable as that piece of clothing was made from. So you've got a hole in your pants because let's be real, even though Dovetail is made to be durable and for that rugged, your rugged woman, you can still wear pants out. They're not made of steel, right? You can be rough and tough on things like I am. So yeah, I will still get holes or, worn areas, from use. It is gonna fucking happen. So be prepared for it, but it won't happen as quickly as some other brands. And it's still also super comfy. Anyways, these patches help us fix this. So now I don't have to go buy a new pair of dovetails because maybe I have a little hole or I'm starting in a worn area. And I can't wait to try the no sew patches on my dovetail. I don't really have a hole to fix right now, but I'm definitely going to get a patch kit. But again, women supporting women, these awesome women owned brands collaborating together. So check out no sew also, whether it's for your dovetail or for your ski jacket, puffy jacket, anything like that. There's so many different ways to fix things without having to just toss it, buy something new. Or again, sometimes it can be pretty costly to send it to a seamstress or something like that to get it fixed. And like I said, so many fun designs where you can just throw a cute little avocado patch and, and they have plain solid colors too if you're like, I don't want this hole to stand out. And okay, lastly, for this quick episode, I'm going to talk about alpinistas because I do some freelance work for alpinistas, but I'm not getting paid to talk about them here. But I love what they're doing. I've been following them since before I worked with them. They're in e-commerce. I kind of explain it to people like the backcountry of women's gear because you go online to thealpinistas.com and it's outdoor apparel and gear curated for women. So all sorts of different brands. It's not just women's brands that they carry, but it is just the women's like apparel that they carry from these brands. And then also there's the Alpinistas Adventures side. So there's guided trips, tours, a bunch of education, mountaineering 101, there's avalanche courses, there's international trips, Kilimanjaro, Everest Base Camp, all sorts of things you can dive into. So you don't have to just be in the Tahoe area. There's a lot that goes on in the Tahoe area, but there's also things outside of Tahoe that you can get into, and like I said, internationally, online events, all sorts of ways to get involved with alpinistas. There's a Facebook alpinistas community. I think I mentioned that in my last one with like how you can kind of find new friends or people to connect with in your 30s or just as an adult rather. So Alpinistas is a great source to just start and discover some new brands maybe that you didn't know of or find gear that is right for you to get out and adventuring. I could go on and on and on and name so many brands. Like I said, a lot of them we have had someone on the podcast, but I will continue to highlight a few. And like I said, I just wanted to mention these few either really innovative or just brands that are sticking out to me right now for you to get out and support. So, Women's History Month, support other women this month, every month, every day that you can. If there's a brand out there you don't think we've heard of or you love so much, please let us know what that is. Leave a comment on this podcast through Spotify or on our social media. Send us an email, send us a DM, whatever it is, let us know. Always looking for awesome women brands to highlight. And yeah, get out there, support each other, have a lovely rest of your day. We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.